Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Hi, good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Dion.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Ricardo. Good afternoon, buddy.
Hi, Ronald. Good afternoon. My Tobago compatriot. You're not hearing me.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon. Blessings to you guys also. We're gonna start in 1 minute. We're gonna start in 1 minute. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to everybody from Trinidad and Tobago, and good afternoon also in Germany. So, hi, my name is Dion Lafoucade. I'm the Technical Director of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association. I want to welcome all the coaches from locally and abroad. We have some coaches joining us from Canada and the USA and different parts of the Caribbean. I want to say welcome to you all. Firstly, we're going to start with Mrs. Knott. Mrs. Knott, please, can you help us with your very nice prayer that you usually do? Can you say for us, please, Mrs. Knott, and welcome.
Thank you, Dion. And just to say a few words of prayer as we come together once more, inspired by the leadership of Dion for everybody in. Let us take this moment in solidarity, in prayer of all our faiths, to ask our Master to heal our nations and to continue to bless all our frontline workers here in Trinidad and Tobago and worldwide. As Trinidad and Tobago continues with a state of emergency and stringent rules and regulations that have totally stopped our beloved sport, we ask God, Allah, Jehovah, our Master, to heal the world so that we can once again enjoy the joys and benefits of a life in sport. God bless this nation. Amen.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Knott, and we really hope that God blesses the nation. I would like to introduce Nicholas Gomez, the latest member of the FIFA Trinidad and Tobago Normalization Committee. Mr. Gomez, welcome, and say a few words on behalf of the Normalization Committee, please.
Thank you, Dion, and good afternoon, everybody, especially all our beloved attendees to this session, our gracious Hoffenheim participants, and Max and Arne for being so generous with their time. It's the evening in Germany, and their day continues as they spend the next couple hours with us. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your contribution to Trinidad and Tobago football and to the coaches that are here with us. As Dion mentioned, not only do we have home soil on the call, we have those from other spaces as well. So welcome, everybody. It's indeed a pleasure to have you. And just to say, Dion, thank you for your leadership on this initiative. It has been a marvelous journey thus far as we spend time helping, sharing insights, sharing and helping, collaborating and including. Thank you so much for this leadership initiative. And to Mrs. Knott, thank you for your participation and your warm blessings to get us going with this session this afternoon. Dion, thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicholas, for those very, very kind words. And before I turn you guys over to the instructors, I will just make a little mention that in a game versus Denmark versus Finland, there was a player who collapsed on the field, Christian Eriksen, and our prayers and thoughts go with him. They had to cancel the game. They had to be taken to the hospital. It was an emergency situation. So just wanted to send our prayers and thoughts towards Christian Eriksen and what he's going through at this time. So I wanted to share that. So without any further ado, it gives me great pleasure to welcome here to Trinidad and Tobago via the internet, Arne Stratmann and Maximilian Roth of Hoffenheim, and who plays in the German Bundesliga. We want to welcome you guys and thank you for taking the time to come to Trinidad and Tobago to share your knowledge. Guys, welcome.
Thank you, Dion. Good evening from our side. It's the evening, so good evening to everybody. Thank you for having us. Dion, thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you for the organization. And thank you for everyone for your kind words. And of course, thank you to all the participants for joining us. And we are very much looking forward to the next few hours with you.
Thank you very much, Arne, and also to Max. So Arne, the floor is yours, buddy. You can go ahead. Okay, so you guys can go ahead. Okay, please.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, we just fixed our little technical problems. So again, I would just have to fix it again. Okay, I think now it's fine. So thank you again for having us, and hello again to everyone. So today we would like to present our academy and our club, and we are very impressed from what you've built up with your webinar. I think we're going to quite a similar phase and situation throughout the whole world, and for us it was quite the same, that we during the pandemic that we started to offer some webinars to coaches. And so we have already done that with our local coaches, but now of course we are very happy to do that with you guys. So what we've planned for you, first of all, we don't know really how much you know from TSG Hoffenheim, so we just want to introduce our club and want to give you the opportunity to get to know our club. Then afterwards, we would like to speak about coaching education and the TSG Hoffenheim way, because I think you have set up a brilliant way of coaching education with these webinars. And for us as a club here in Germany, we are quite well known for educating our coaches. And so we just want to share with you how we do it. And then we also want to talk about player development. And since Max and we will introduce us in a second, are coaching in like the children's sector. I'm under 13 coach, Max under 12. We would like to concentrate on the children's football. And of course, in the end, would like to do a short Q&A session or a long one if you have enough questions. Yeah, and please be welcome to ask your questions. Okay, so I would like to introduce myself quickly. My name is Arne. I'm 32 years old. I've studied sports science here in Germany and have done like a master's degree. And I'm working for TSG Hoffenheim since 2015. Me myself, I started working as a club some years earlier when I turned 18. But yeah, not before 2015, I started working here at the club. And at the moment, I'm in charge of our age categories under 9 to under 13. So I'm the coordinator for these categories, and I'm the head coach of our under 13 team.
Hello, also from my side. Thank you for having us, and it's a pleasure to be here and to do this presentation for all of those great participants we have here. My name is Max. I'm 26 years old. I'm still studying, but already done, so not long to go. Since 2016, I'm working for TSG Hoffenheim, and my current positions are two positions. My first position is the coordinator of sports and a coach at the TSG football school. So we do like camps and trainings for all of the. And I'm also the assistant coach of our under 12 at the TSG Academy. And I'm really blessed to be here, and I'm looking forward to what we will do in the next minutes and hours. So I wanted just to try to fix the presentation once again. So give me 1 minute, please. So. So let's try this again. If this works. No, it doesn't. All right. So what we want you to be part of in this workshop, we don't want to speak all the time, but we want you to be active. So bring in your ideas. We have also some quiz formats, and we have questions for you. So please use the chat to give your answers. And also, it will be very cool if you bring in your own ideas, ask questions, and please don't be shy. So ask us anything you want, write down your questions in the chat, and we will answer them for you. And we will have, we will prepare a script. So we will get a PDF with the presentation, and we will send it to Dion, and he will give it to you per email. So let's start with our club introduction. And as many of you, or hopefully now most of you know, we work for TSG Hoffenheim, and to give you some input of what our club is doing and what great goals we are scoring in our leagues, we have a little introduction video. I hope it runs well for everyone. Let's see how it goes.
Score macht direkt und Tor! Und was für ein Strahl! 1:0 für Hoffenheim! Drüber auf die linke Seite, abgelegt an den 16 Meter am Schuss und Tor. Rudi mit dem 1:0. Lokadia mit links ins linke Eck, Tor für Hoffenheim. Adamian, der ist im 16er drin, schießt mit links und schießt das Tor. Da ist wieder Adamian. Tor! 2:1 für die TSG Hoffenheim. Geiger steckt ihn rein, ist gefährlich. Der Ausgleich, Belfodil 3:3.
All right, so I hope you are fired up now. We are. Every time we see this video, we are crazy and want to go out the pitch and train with our players and score some goals. But now we have the first, we want to ask you if you know where Hoffenheim is at. So this is Germany. As you can see, this is Germany, and maybe someone of you knows where Hoffenheim is, or maybe can guess where it is. So you have the opportunity and the ability to mark your screen, and we want you to mark your screen where you think Hoffenheim is. So you can have your marker here, and maybe it is here for you or here. We want you to guess where Hoffenheim is. We hope all of you know where the option in Zoom is to mark the mark. Israel already guessed it. So more in the north of Germany. Not bad.
Getting closer.
Okay. All right. We have a winner, we think. So Gyasi is the one who is the nearest to Hoffenheim. So Hoffenheim is southwest of Germany. It's not that central as many of you thought, but maybe for your orientation, we have Berlin in northeastern of Germany. We have Munich in the south of Germany, and Hoffenheim is where the blue dot is. And let's do this one more time. All right. So next question for you. We want to do a quiz because we want to introduce our history a little bit, because we think TSG Hoffenheim has a really special history. So what do you think? What is the population of Hoffenheim? So the city of Hoffenheim, how many inhabitants does it have? A, B, C, or D? A, 27,000, B, 43,000. See many D's, see some A, B, A, C. Okay, we wait some. All right. Some of you are right, and most of you did send the correct answer. We are not that small, so not answer C, but only D. Answer D, we have only 3,000 inhabitants. So Hoffenheim is really a small village. And we are a Bundesliga club, but we weren't a Bundesliga club at first. I'll come to that later. But second question, something maybe you can just guess. What was the original sports of the club before becoming a football team? So Hoffenheim existed since 1899, but there wasn't football at first. So the original sports of the club was another sports. Which one was it? It's between a race between A and D, so gymnastics and handball. And the right answer is A, gymnastics. So the club was only gymnastics club and recreational sports club without football. And that leads us to our history. And you can see in the headline, we are a small town team, and we developed to the soccer club at the center of one of the greatest fairy tale stories in world sport. So we think of our club really as a fairy tale story because we were founded in 1899 until 99, so nearly 100 years. We just played football and soccer to the lowest league. And then one man joined the club. It's Dietmar Hopp. Dietmar Hopp is the co-founder of SAP, and SAP is a big software company here in Germany. And he was a former player in Hoffenheim, so it's his hometown club. And he watched the game and said, I want my hometown team, my hometown club to play professional soccer. And then he invested in the club, and then we just ascended all the leagues. And till 1999, maybe you know this phase as well, we managed to rise to the Oberliga. It's the 4th division in Germany. Then it was the 4th division. And Dietmar Hopp brought in Hansi Flick. And Hansi Flick is triple coach from Bayern Munich. So he won the triple with Bayern Munich. And now he will be the German head coach after this European Championship. And since 99, the club had a great ascent to the top level. And the next question for you is, in which year did TSG Hoffenheim finally promote to the first German league, so the Bundesliga? Remember again, 1990, Dietmar Hopp joined the club. And when did we promote into the first German league? And Dietmar Hopp joined the club when Hoffenheim was at the lowest league. So maybe the 10th or 11th league in Germany. 2001. So we have a variety of answers now. 2013, some of you say. And the correct answer is 2008. So for 13 years now, Hoffenheim plays in the first division and never was in the second division afterwards. So since 2008, we were first division team. And in the first season, when we played in the Bundesliga, there happened a really cool thing. And is it number A, B, C, or D? So what do you think? What happened to our club in the first year of Bundesliga? Did we receive 20 red cards because otherwise we couldn't win games? Did we concede the most goals? Did we won our first game 7-0 against Borussia Dortmund? Or were we first place in the standings after 17 games as we promoted to the Bundesliga? Some of you know, maybe. I see the correct answer already. Yes, great. Yeah, as we promoted to the Bundesliga, we just stayed strong and finished the first half of the season after 17 games with the first place. So before, in front of Bayern Munich, in front of Borussia Dortmund, and had a great start to our Bundesliga history. And that's 1 year after another. So in 2006, we promoted to the second Bundesliga. Then in 2007, we promoted to the Bundesliga. And then 2008, we had the half of the season champions, so to say. And this is really a great start to begin in the Bundesliga. And in our early history, we also formed some really good players that now play in other clubs. But question for you, which former TSG player is now a star at Liverpool FC? So all of the here shown players are stars at Liverpool. And you already had Liverpool. Oh, now the right answers are flying in. Unfortunately, Mohamed Salah did not play at our club. We really would love to see him play here. But as you already mentioned, Roberto Firmino played at Hoffenheim for a long time and then was sold to Liverpool. And now he's a star. And we really like to see him there and play with the other great players. And that's what we think of our biggest achievement in our early history. It's 2017, led by a really young coach. It's the same age as I am now. So in 2 months I'm also 27 years. So at 27 years old, Julian Nagelsmann did promote with Hoffenheim to the Champions League. And it was the greatest achievement in our club history. We played again against Manchester City, Olympique Lyon, and Donetsk, and it was a really great experience. We just not quite managed to defeat Manchester City, but we had a tie, one game, 3-3, yeah. And our team just played brilliant. And in the next stage, so in 2019, there's another thing we are really proud of. We had a new sponsor for our stadium. It's PreZero, and that leads me to the next point I want to introduce to you is our club strategy. So in our club, we don't just do football and soccer. That's what we are all here and what we want to talk about today, but we also do much more. And this is our strategy and also our understanding of our club. And to show this to other people and also to give an idea how we work with it is the slogan TSG is movement. So we don't only do football, but we also have 5 fields, 5 areas in which we as a club want to give something back and promote our players, but also promote other areas in the whole world. And the first is innovation. We'll come to that later. Employees and players. Of course, one of the main parts of the Bundesliga clubs is to develop his players, but also youth and fans. We started with a little fan basis. Now we have a really great fan basis that's developed over the last years. And 2 things that's out of the context football are the areas ecology and Africa. And we want to start with the ecology. Ecology aspect is for our club. I will be here a little bit short because we want to focus on the football part, but Hoffenheim is nothing without the aspect of ecology and Africa. So we committed ourselves to do something against the climate change, and that's because our Dietmar Hopp is also a great speaker against the climate change and wants to do with his opportunities and the club he founded or he invested in Hoffenheim. He wants to do something against the climate change. And we, for example, are the first Bundesliga club who has an official partnership with the WWF. So also we planted more than 300,000 trees via our climate ticket initiative. So the people who are coming to the stadium and buy tickets can also buy €1 more to the ticket, and then we are planting trees for this €1. And as I already mentioned, PreZero. In our arena, of course, in football games, there is waste because of the beer and the sausages that are eaten there. But more than 60% of the waste that is on the game is recycled. So we don't use it and throw it away, but we use it and use it again. So we are at the forefront of climate protection as a Bundesliga club, and this is something we really want to be an example for other Bundesliga clubs, because in Germany we are one of the only clubs till now that are doing such a big investments against the climate change and for climate protection. The second area is Africa, and Africa we have some initiatives there. We have in 2015 started our first project in Africa, because we don't want to go to China or USA or Africa and just sell our jerseys or give footballs there. We want to have we want to change something and help other countries to develop. And for example, we have the Bundesliga Youth Ambassadors with the German. I hope you. Okay, sorry for that. So we have the Bundesliga Youth Ambassadors, and the Bundesliga Youth Ambassadors is a project we have with the German Football League, and we are coaching the Bundesliga Youth Ambassadors, so people from the communities in Kenya, and help them to promote their community and develop their community with knowledge from the football side, but they also give back to us knowledge they have about the community and about the things that happen in their community. We are also the first soccer club that launched a lifestyle brand in Africa. So Umoja is based in Uganda, and we are producing lifestyle brands and clothes there, and all the money is going back to Uganda there. So we don't say, please prepare the clothes for us and we sell them, because they prepare them and they get the money from our sellings. Yes, that's the second area we have here in our TSG is movement areas. And now we come to the more football specific parts. At first, it's youth and fans. You already saw in the video not only our pro team scoring goals, but also our under-19 team, which were also in the youth league. We were playing against Donetsk, Manchester City, and also in the quarter and half finals against Real Madrid. We beat Real Madrid at our home stadium, which you can see here, and we promoted to the Final Four. Unfortunately, didn't win the trophy, but it was a really great experience to play against all the big clubs and also beating those clubs. And that's also something we want to promote, because all of our fan bases is based on the great work we are doing with the kids and the youth. And so we have 3 continents where we have fan club presences. We have more than 100 official fan clubs and 6,500 fan club members already. And you every time you see those numbers, you have to think about that we are a little village with only 3,000 inhabitants, and not like millions of people living in London or in Munich or in Berlin. So that's really a great thing that we have such a good fan basis. Now let's move to a little more soccer specific parts, and one big part is innovation. So in Hoffenheim, since the start of our football careers and the football promoting in Hoffenheim, we have the mindset that we want to be innovative in the things that are good for our players on the field, but also that are good for the whole world. And our experiences and knowledge we get with our innovations. We also spread around the world, and we are driven by innovation. So we have the TSG Research Lab, which you can see here. It's a company which does research, football-specific research, but also spreads this knowledge we are getting from this research to other parts in the community. So maybe health and medicine, or something like for older people, how can we promote their healthy lifestyle, and so on. And we also were the host of the world's first MIT Sports Entrepreneurship Bootcamp. So for 3 days, the greatest minds in the sports community came together and had a bootcamp in our stadium for 3 days. And we also want to make our players better through our innovations. And 2 things we want to show you here is the helix and the footbonaut. And the first thing we want to show you is the footbonaut. The footbonaut is a ball machine which has some ball machines here, and on the side you can't see here. So 8 ball machines, and the balls are throwing are passed out here of the ball machines, and the player standing in the middle and has to put the ball and shoot the ball to the green parts of the footbonaut. And we use this for decision making, for looking over your shoulders, and for just scanning your field all the time, and so that you can have an imagination what the footbonaut is about and how we use it. We have a little video for you. So the footbonaut, again, is for technical aspects, but also for cognitive aspects. So you have to see where the ball is coming from. You have to see where you have to shoot the ball, but also have the technical skills and develop the technical skills to do it as fast as you can. And this is a technology we were the first in one of the first clubs in the world who have this footbonaut since almost 10 years now. And I think the footbonaut is based in Berlin. It's the prototype. We have one in Dortmund. We have one in Munich. I don't know if Bayern Munich really has the footbonaut, but it could be. And there's one in Qatar. So only 5 to 6 footbonauts in the world, and Hoffenheim has one of them, and they really had one of the first footbonauts ever. And the second, and the thing we have in Hoffenheim, we only have in Hoffenheim, so no other club is having this thing is the helix. And the helix is a 360-degree wall where you have to perceive many things, and you don't only can concentrate on one thing, but you also have to perceive something in your back or on the side to make the right decisions. For example, this is a game we play here. We can play a lot of games. It's like a gamification of football and the football world. So if you imagine being on the field, there are players running in front of you, players running on the side, players running in the back of your head, and the thing you have to do in football is to make the right decision and to make the decision fast. And this thing, the helix, helps the players to not only play football and practice this decision making on the field, but also go in a gamification room, in a 360-degree wall room where you can practice this decision making. So we'll show you another video here. So it was developed by the research lab. It's the helix, and there you go and have really many games you can play, from low skill level to really you can't do it no better level. So it's about object tracking, it's about perceiving the things you see and making the right decision fast. And here you can see the guy is looking around, and he has to point with his, it's like a laser pointer. He has to point to the green players, the green buttons, which are moving, and he has to throw a frisbee, an imaginary frisbee, so like a ball, to the point where the player is going. So if the player is moving from the side here to the right side, you have to perceive it, and you have to point, maybe not here, but something more to the right, because the player is moving, and you have to throw the frisbee and to play the ball in real football in the movement of the player. And this with this helix, we can do it not on a football pitch, but do it more like on the gamification world. Every time you throw the frisbee and throw the ball to the enemy, so the purple players, you get minus points, and to the green players, of course, points for your team. All right, that's the innovation we talk about. And in the helix, there are not only football players, but there are also like other sports like handball or basketball players, ice hockey players, and they use the helix as well. And the next one, the last one, and the most important one when we talk about player development, is the area employees and players. And we as Hoffenheim don't have the capacities to buy ready players and to buy star players, but we want to develop those players and then sell them for increased amount of money. So there are top 10 transfers. Some of the players you already know. So maybe like what we talked about is Roberto Firmino. He came to Hoffenheim in 2011, so only 3 years after we promoted to the Bundesliga, and he played here for nearly 4 years, and his market value increased nearly on 1000%. So we sold Firmino for 41 million. That's how we want to keep our club rolling, because we don't have the capacities like other clubs to buy players that are already stars, but we want to develop stars. And we want to develop stars on our pro team, but also on our academy. And that's what we really want to do here. As you can see, Niklas Süle, a good example for our academy and the way our academy works or can work. Niklas Süle came here from his hometown club for 500,000, and we sold him to Bayern Munich 4 years later for 20 million. And it's an increase in the market value and our the return on investment on 3,900%. So that's just crazy, and that's something where we can reinvest the money we get there in our infrastructure and our academy again. There in the chat, same philosophy as Dortmund and RB Leipzig. Yes, more like RB Leipzig maybe. Dortmund already also does buy players for more than 10 million, but we are really don't do acquisitions for more than 10 million. So that's a great that's like a strategy in our club. And the thing we are really proud of, and where Arne and I are also working, is the academy. And the academy is something Arne is talking about also later, about the coaching development and player development. But just to give you some facts here, we have 20% of our academy players that turn pro. And you can see it if you look up the under 17s, under 19s and under 23, and of those players that are in our academy in this age group, 20% of those players will turn pro. So in the last years we did an analysis there, and 20%, so 1 out of 5 players are turning pro, and that's really crazy when you think about how many players are playing football, how many players are playing in a Bundesliga club and all over the world in great clubs, and they don't always turn pro in our team, but also turn pro in other teams. And the basis we are doing in the academy. But also that's not only for the players, but also for the coaches. And Arne will talk about coaches development. And another number here is 9 former academy coaches are in the pros now. So the best example is Julian Nagelsmann, who was coaching the under 16s, under 17s, under 19s team, and he promoted to our pro club and now was at RB Leipzig and is now the next season coaching Bayern Munich. So at this young age, we also have part of it as for his success. And we do it, we call it the TSG path. So we have infrastructure which helps us to develop player better. Arne already talked about our strategy and our TSG's movement way, and we also apply that to our TSG path in the academy. So the players start not with a team they are playing in before under 12s. So we don't have players that are playing for TSG Hoffenheim before the age of 11. And you can see here it's KPT, it's like a perspective team. So the players that are under 7, under 8, under 9, under 10, under 11 are playing in their hometown clubs, and only come to us training once a week and playing with us on the weekend sometimes. But we want to promote this because we have the opinion that early specialization is not the best for the kids. So we want to have them playing soccer in their hometown clubs, and we want to get to know them better over the time, and then we want to pick the most talented players in the under 12, and there is the team which is the first team of Hoffenheim. Then we have our infrastructure, which I already talked about. We have four different bases where we have centers. So we have the basic center, is the first center we have for our younger players. Then when they promote to the under 14s, under 15s, under 16s, we have another center. It's called the Academy Arena. So it's like we have one center here, one center here, one center here, and one center here. That's because we want to have experts and enough room for the players to develop. When they are only in one center, they don't have enough pitches to train. They have maybe not enough coaches for them to develop, and that's because we grew as a club, and that's why the centers are like first center, second, third, and fourth. But also we like this infrastructure very much because we can work with the talents really close and don't have 6 to 7 teams on one center, but only 2 to 3 teams on one center. When they promote to the under 17s, we have the Center of Excellence, so where they are preparing for the pro team, and there are only 2 teams, the under 17, under 19s, and then we have the training facilities and business headquarters where the pro team is, and also our under 23 team is training and playing. And when we talk about our academy graduates, it's we know some people here, some players here. Like we already said, it's Niklas Süle as one of the most one of the most market values. Sead Kolasinac from Arsenal also played here like a really long time. Then we have Nadim Amiri, some of you may know, and then we have really here three players which are part of our pro team now and are really also the starting 5 players. So it's not like they are sitting on the bench and don't play as much, but they are really our starting 5 players. And that's also the thing we can say about our coaches. So not only our players promote to the pros, but also our academy coaches. And of course, you have here Julian Nagelsmann, but you can also think about Pellegrino Matarazzo, who was only half a year in our academy, then went to the pros in Hoffenheim, and then went to the pros in Stuttgart, so also a Bundesliga club. And as you can see here on the right-hand side, many coaches that worked in our academy promoted to the first league or second league in the German leagues, or also international like Spartak Prague in the Primera Liga, or international like the German under 20s like coaches here. And that's it for the introduction for TSG Hoffenheim. So that's a good reference for Arne to step in now, because we talked about that not only our players are developing in our academy, but also our coaches. And that's the thing why we are all here, because we want to get better and have more knowledge about football and about coaching. And that's what we also do in our academy, educating our coaches and coaching our coaches. And I hope you know the club of TSG Hoffenheim now a bit better. And I kindly ask Arne to step in now, and I'm really looking forward for the next part about coaching education. Thank you so much for your time, and have fun with the next part.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Max. Kannst du das Fenster zumachen? Das Ding ist hier. It's getting a little bit sunny here, so we just yeah, thank you, Max. Okay, so I hope you're still awake. I hope you were not bored by Max. No, I'm just joking. I think it was very interesting. And yeah, the chat is very active. That's very nice to read. And yeah, that speaks for Max's presentation. Okay, so next I want to tell you, like Max said, we are quite known here in Germany for our academy, and it's like one of the top academies in Germany. And you can see that if even more, if you think of that our academy works professionally only for about 15 years. And when we talk about 15 years and we see 10 coaches who made it to the pros, and there are even more, and like the same number of players also there are even more, I think this is something we can very be proud of. Okay, so as you can see, coaching education is a very important point for us. And now I just would like to give you a short insight on how we work on that topic. I've divided this part into 2 extra parts. First of all, our in-house coaching education. As you see, we try to develop the coaches who are already here. But I think you also saw that we have quite like a holistic point of view, and we not only try to keep all the knowledge or the infrastructure and so on for our sides, but we also try to help the region and also above the region. So we also have quite a great offer for external coaching education. But first of all, our in-house coaching education. This is just a small insight, so not all we do, just some examples. One example is our Coach the Coach seminar. So we did a coach workshop where we just try to develop ourselves. So here you see our former under 13 coach, some coaches from our perspective team, from our under 12. And on that day, I think 1 year ago, no, it was before the pandemic. So like perhaps 1.5 years ago, we met, and every coach received a specific task. So he had to prepare, he or she, we also have female coaches, he or she had to prepare like a training session. And then afterwards we gave ourselves feedbacks. So this is like our feedback sheet. You see here, it's in German. I don't know how many of you do speak German. I just try to translate a little bit of it. So we went out on the pitch, we filmed it, we filmed the training sessions, and then afterwards we analyzed ourselves. So we talked about how was the organization of the training, what were the content of the training, how fast did the session start, how much time did the coach need to explain his session, what did he coach, how was he communicating towards the players, and so on. And this is, I think, a very important point for us, to give ourselves feedbacks and always to have in mind that we always try to develop ourselves. Okay, next workshop we did was with all the head coaches of the academy. We developed our own playing philosophy. So it's not the case in Hoffenheim that the club or like our boss tells us, okay, all Hoffenheim teams have to play like this. But it's more that we try to develop our own strategies. And that's why we had a very, very, very nice, very good work group where we worked on our play philosophy. And I'll just show you the video, which we did there. That's only like the short version of the video. There's also a longer one, which we use with the players, but that's like more, we try to keep it in-house, but that's like the short version, which we would like to show you. Of course, it's in German. Maybe you can guess what the words say. Okay, so please use the chat. Any ideas? What could that mean? So we turn this workshop in a German lesson. I think the first word is easy to translate. The second, oh, very great. Daniel, that's perfect. So it means thinking vertical. So we want that our teams not pass to the back, pass to the sides, but we want them that the first idea they have in their mind is to pass vertically in direction of the other goal. Of course, if it's not possible to play in this direction, you can play to the back or to the sides, but the first idea should be up front. Okay, I think if you translate every sentence, it would be a little bit too much, but oh, maximum tempo and risk, that was perfect translation, but I'll try to translate some of them with you. So, alle verteidigen zusammen. Not easy to translate, but perhaps if you see the video, you could guess what it means. Oh, Damien, do you speak German? You know all the words. Okay, so alle verteidigen zusammen means everyone defending together. Yeah, Dutch is quite similar to German. Okay, that was a short insight in our playing philosophy. Another workshop we did, or more like a project, was an analysis project. So here you see some international clubs, and there, for example, you see my name. I was chosen to analyze UNAM Pumas from Mexico. So we just picked out some teams, international teams, who were interesting, who had an interesting style of play, interesting coach, and then we got the task to analyze them throughout the season. So besides my job as a coach, I analyzed the UNAM Pumas game, and then we came together and presented to ourselves or to each other the analysis of the teams. And so overall, what we would like to tell you, or the message we would like to bring across, to do workshops is very good for the development of coaches, just to come together, to talk about football, to analyze other teams, analyze yourselves, to analyze your own teams, helps you to find your own strategy and helps everyone to develop. And in the end, everybody gets better. As I told you, we not only do our in-house coaching education, but also our external coaching education. And And for that, we have like an own institution inside of our club, which is the TSG Trainerschule. I'm sure, Damien, you can translate it, but I'll help you. It just means TSG Coaches School. And there we offer coaching seminars in Hoffenheim. We do 10 per year, and they're all free of charge. So all the coaches in our region can come here, can come to Hoffenheim and can see how we work. And we just, presentate our philosophy, our style of coaching. We also do TSG Trainer School on tour. First of all, what we started with was in our region. So we just visited like partner clubs and a lot of clubs near to Hoffenheim and offered our coaching education. In the last years, we have widened it up to like nearly the whole world. We've been to the States, to USA. We've done several projects in Africa, as Max already told. We've been to Uganda, to Ghana, to Namibia, to South Africa. And this is a very important thing for us to keep the knowledge we have, not only for ourselves, but to spread them, first of all, in our region, but also throughout the world. And we are very happy to be able to do that now with you. And both of us discussed early on that we, of course, hope a lot that one day it will also be possible to do this kind of coaching seminar, not only via Zoom, but in live. So if one day there is an opportunity to visit Trinidad and Tobago, would be a huge pleasure and would be very nice for us. And once in a year, we're organizing a big children's football workshop. There we have about 200 coaches who join us as participants and have international guests as presentations for the presentations. We've had in the last years, we have FC Porto from Portugal, we've had Borussia Dortmund, we have FC Basel from Swiss, which we had some guys from Canada. One was from one of the Caribbean islands. I think he was Jamaican, but living in Canada. And we've had an Australian coach. So we try to get the knowledge here for our workshops so that we can profit from it, and also the coaches in our region can profit from it. And after working like this for several years, 2 years ago, we had the idea that we should put all our knowledge into one project. And that's what resulted from the project, is that we wrote a book. And the book is called Kinderfußball trainieren wie die TSG Hoffenheim, or in English, Youth Football, the TSG 1899 Hoffenheim Way. So it's a book about youth football. And we, both of us participated in the writing of the book. And there we have put in all of our knowledge about how to train young children, because we think as a professional club with all the possibilities we have, you've seen our research lab, you've seen our football now, you've seen our infrastructure. So we have very great possibilities. And from our point of view, it would not be fair to keep all of that for ourselves. And so we use this project to try to spread our knowledge. And that's what we wrote the book about. And would like to give you a small insight in the book. That's our table of contents. So we start with like basic knowledge about youth football and children's football. So kids are where it all begins. Then we talk about the ideal coach. We talk about how to organize a training session. Then we talk about the specific content of football training, like mini football, like technique, athletics training, 1v1, and so on. And of course, we have a lot of games in there. So here you can see a page of it. There are more than 100 games and exercises included, all very good described with setup, the sequence, the variations, coaching points, and also illustrated with pictures and with graphics for the coaching and for the coaches. And there are more than 100 exercises included. But to be honest, we had more than 100 exercises. So what we did, we included a TSG online training tool, and there are another 100 exercises included. So if you buy the book, you get the access for 8 weeks for the training tool included, and if you like it, you can buy an access for 1 year. I see there are also already some interests in the chat. So the book is published in English and German. You can also find it on Amazon, but only in the German version. The English version is available at our store. You find the store, our web shop, under tsg-hoffenheim.de, and there you can also change to the English language and also can purchase the book. I think we will send the link to Dion afterwards. So if anybody is interested, Dion can send the link to you, and it will also be included in our script. Just wanted to give you a short insight in the online tool. I just have to switch here quickly. Okay, so that's just wait. Now it's loaded. Okay, that's how the online tool looks like. First, you might think, oh shit, that's all German. I don't have a clue what they're saying, except for Damien. I think you understand everything. But for the rest, there's a possibility to change the language in the top right corner. And now you have all the content in English. And you see there are 187 training forms published, so quite a lot. Yeah, and then you can see them in details. So you see like the graphic, you see the setup, the sequence, the variation, the coaching points, and so on. So you can see all the details. And what we think, what is even an extra point and what is really great for all the coaches, you have the possibility to edit those training forms. So for example, you say, yeah, I like that form, but I've got like 8 players in my training, not 6. You can edit it here. You can, for example, take this guy, copy paste, take this guy, copy paste, and now you've got a 4 versus 4. Perhaps you're saying, okay, 4 versus 4 is very hard for my team, or I would like to train like numbers up playing. So I take another player, put him in. Oh, he's too small. Adjust size and say he's a neutral player. So a player who plays always with the team in possession of the ball. So now you have edited the training form, and now you can work with it as you like. Another option is that you also create your own training form. So you go here, create new, can type in whatever you like. Here you can create a graphic. You can choose the background. Perhaps you only have half of the pitch. Perhaps you want to see it like this. You can put in goalkeeper. You can put in players. You can put in cones, balls. So a lot of possibilities for adjustment. And yeah, that's how we work with our training tool. Mohammed, so the training tool is not free. It works like this, that if you buy the book, you get an 8-week trial for the training tool. And if you like it afterwards, you can buy it for 20 euros per year. I don't know your local currency, and 20 euros are like a little less than $20, so US dollars. So perhaps you have an idea of how much it costs. And yeah, you have a free trial, but afterwards it costs like $20 more or less for a year. Okay, so let's go back to the topic, because I don't want to make like this into a commercial. session, but want this coaching education session. So back to the topic. Or are there any more questions according our book? $20. Ja, ich glaube, das ist die local currency. Okay. So last part of our presentation is the player development, because of course it's important for us to educate our coaches, but most important are the players. So as we are experts for children's football, we want to concentrate in this part on the children's football. So for us, that's the age category from under 7 to under 13. And during the next part, we would like to give you like also some insights in our book. So all the content we're presenting now is also you're also able to find in our book. Of course, there's a lot more. And we want to give you some insights in our training sessions. So I will show you later some videos from training with my team. And actually it was filmed this morning. And perhaps you see I'm a little bit sunburned, and that has come from this session, indeed. Okay, so already told you showed you the content of our book. And when we talk about children's football, the initial questions we ask ourselves is how are kids? What do kids want? And what do kids need? And I would just like to explain why we work like that. Of course, we are like a professional club, and we are Champions League club and one of the best academies in Germany. And we could be like, well, from our point of view, it would be arrogant to have this point of view to say, okay, we are Champions League. What do we need in Champions League? Okay, we need this, this, and that. And now we want the kids to learn it and want to train it. But we want to change our perspective. So our perspective is not to look at us, but to look at the kids. That's the first step and the most important step. And I would like to do that together with you. So how are kids? So please describe kids with an adjective. Please use the chat. Can be a positive attribute, can be something negative. So feel free to use the chat. And of course, during these interactive parts, there are no wrong answers. So it's just about interaction. So don't be shy, just type in what you think and we'll see what we think. If I look to my right, I'm not looking away of you, I'm looking to the chat. Okay, lots of answers already. Very good answers indeed. Full of energy, fun, energetic, enjoying, curious, very good point. Oh, it comes a lot of time. They have low attention span, fearless. At the same time, I think they're very vulnerable, playful, brave. Okay, let's see what we think. I think there's a match. I think you've already said a lot of these points. I think they are very keen to learn. At the same time, playful. So they don't want to concentrate too much on learning, want to play. They're enthusiastic, honest. If you offer a bad training to the kids, they will tell you, they will make you know it. They're very active, very creative, curious. They can learn very quickly, but at the same time they're jumpy, so they can't concentrate on one thing for such a long time. And that leads me to the next question. What do kids want? And again, please use the chat. Mark Israel, learning German, neugierig. Yeah, that's curious. Like that very much. To be busy, they want enjoyment, they want to have fun, they want to play, they want to run, they want to learn the game, very nice. They want support, they want to win. Okay, very good answers. Just they just want to play. I've read that, just read that, and that's also our first point, and which is very important. Of course, they want to learn something, and you need to offer them something in your training. But how they start playing football, they always start playing freely, and that's what we think is a very important point in training with children. They want to try things out, they want fun, they want enjoyment, they want to move a lot, they want to run, they want to compete, and of course they want to win, but they also have to learn how to lose. They need variation, and they want to learn. And that leads us to my last question, looking a little bit away from the children, but we're still in the sector of the child, but also looking at us as coaches. What do they need from us? Patience and support, praise, guidance, recognition, communication, proper communication, direction also, examples, role model, okay, yeah, it's very nice to see, although we are like miles apart and you're sitting like nearly on the other side of the world. I think we as football coaches speak the same language, because we have come up to quite similar points as you. They need from us communication. Someone said proper communication, that's even more precise. They need affirmation, they need appreciation, they need praise, they need that a lot. Sometimes they need some animation, because not all of them are running all the time. They need proximity, at the same time enough distance, so that's not easy to find. They need respect, they need a nice atmosphere, and we always have to be aware, as coaches we are role models, and I think it's very important that we try to meet that role properly. Okay, but now we've talked a lot about the children, and now we try to come from the perspective of the children to the perspective of the training. So here we have an image which is a metaphor for children's football. And first I make it very hard without the translation. So we have a German like saying here. It says, der Köder muss dem Fisch schmecken, nicht dem Angler. And I'll translate it later to you, but perhaps you can already guess, what does this have to do with children's football? See a fisherman, and I don't know if it's easy to find the connection to children's football and training, but perhaps you have some ideas. If you do, please write them in the chat. And I use the short break for a sip of water. Very good. Okay, I see you're still hesitating. Now I gave you the translation, but I think you already got the conclusion.
Damien, edit again. Translation.
Damien, I don't know if the first name is Damien or Daniel, but you're a very good translator. Okay, so translation is the bait should appeal to the fish, not the fisherman. And if you look at the image, we have the coach, who's a fisherman here. And the coach, of course, wants to fish, wants to catch some fishes. And first of all, his first thoughts are, what do I like? And then he thinks, yeah, I like beans. I like baked beans. And then here you see Bohnen, that's German for beans. He's got a can of beans in his bag. And yeah, he just adjusts the beans to his, to this thing, of which I don't know the English word. The fishing rod. Thank you, John. So he puts his beans to the fishing rod, puts it into the water, and now you see the fish. One is running away. I think one is almost dead. So the fish don't seem to like the beans. So the metaphor has already been explained perfectly in the chat. For example, by Collins. We as a coach, we have to give the kids what they want in training, and then they will come back. So far they are connected to it. Yeah, we as coaches, we don't have to think, what do I like? For example, perhaps I like to play on a big pitch, 11 versus 11. And then I think, okay, the children might like it too. But in the reality, they don't like it at all. They want to play on a smaller pitch because the distance is too huge for them. And if you play 11 versus 11, only 1 out of 22 can have the ball. But all the kids want the ball. So maybe it's better to play 3 versus 3. So you get a lot of more touches of the ball. So the same thing here for the fisherman. He has not, or he should not think, what do I like? But he should think, what do the fishes like? And then he will be successful during fishing. And that's the same for us as coaches. So don't think what you like, but think, what do the children like? What do they need? What do they want? And then we see how we can set up our training. And if you talk about the goals of child-oriented training, we think the first goal should be to have varied and comprehensive development of basic movement skills. As earlier discussed with Annette, that was a very good point from Annette. We try to get a holistic perspective and not to have a too early specialization. Because if you start specializing in the age of 6 or 7, you will not learn these very important basic movement skills. And we here in Germany, I don't know how the situation is in Trinidad and Tobago, we have the problem that kids in Germany, they tend to not to go out too much. So a lot of them are staying at home, playing PlayStation, playing on computers, watching TV, watching their smartphones, and don't go out to play. And that's what we have to be aware of as football coaches, because the perfect condition would be kids just go out, they play tech games, they go climb the trees, they run a lot, and then they learn those basic movement skills. But reality nowadays is they come to our training and not all of them have those basic movement skills. And that's why it's very important to include them in your football training from our point of view. But on the same time, we are still football coaches and we want them to play football. And so it's very important to introduce them to the basic technical skills and the basic technical behavior. At the same time, we already talked about what do kids want. They want to have fun. And that's very important to keep them at playing football. If it could happen that you introduce them to the skills perfectly, you teach them the skills, but they don't have fun, then it doesn't bring anything because they will stop playing football. So fun is one of the fundamental points in children football. At the same time, we need to establish a child-oriented competition format. That's what we are working a lot here, also with our association, our football association. For example, being or now exaggerating, it would be totally wrong to let 7-year-olds play on a huge pitch, 11 versus 11. So we think for the small kids, we need small-sided games, and that's for us a child-oriented competition format. Football as a team sport has the power to develop social and group competences. And that's a very important point for us. So we don't want to give them football specific skills and basic movement skills, but also social skills. And on the end, looking at the personal perspective of each child, it's very, very important for us to develop a positive and healthy attitude towards themselves and to give them some kind of self-confidence. And those are our goals when we talk about children's football. And now we try to work with you or to see with you, how can we reach that goals? And therefore we have some principles in our training. And now again, I would ask you to use the chat and to guess what we mean. So we have an image, and this image stands for a principle. And you can just guess what it means. And again, don't be shy, no wrong answers. It's just like for having fun and for guessing a little bit. Reward and recognition. Mm-hmm. Okay, a lot of good answers. Of course, we've made up our minds with that. So we have an idea in mind, but that's not the only right answer. So for us, it's about healthy competition. So of course, kids want to compete with each other, but on this level, sometimes it happens that it gets unfair. And so we as coaches, we have the role to promote a fair and joyful competition. And of course, it's the nicest to be the winner, and it's not so nice to lose. But as a coach, we can influence who wins. So we can try to offer several competitions. So not always the same kid wins. We can try to find fair teams if we do a competition. So everybody gets a chance to win. And in the end, that's how we get the kids to enjoy the games and exercises. Okay, next principle. What do you think? What could that mean? I think this one's not so easy as the first one. Okay, I see. It still was too easy for you. Yeah, it's about variant movements. So not only creating or giving them the opportunity to learn football specific movements, but to create a wide range of different exercises and to animate the kids to try new things out. For example, as you can see on the image, the kids are throwing balls. And of course, when we work with our kids, the most times we touch the ball with our feet, but not only. So we also try to teach them how to throw, how to catch a ball, because in the end, the broader the foundation of movements, the easier it is to learn a specific movement. And so they not only they not only learn with this to like catch and throw a ball, but it also makes it easier for them to learn new football specific movements if they have a variety of experiences before. Okay, what do you think about that?
Arne, you guys are muted. Arne, you're muted. You muted yourself by mistake. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
No,
sorry.
it's good.
Thanks, Dion. Okay, just give you a solution. So we try to use various targets and equipment in our training because it just animates the kids to be creative. If they don't only have to score, of course, it's the most fun to score inside the goal with the goalkeeper who tries to catch the ball and doesn't get it. That's the coolest thing in football. But at the same time, it can also make fun to shoot at cones, to shoot at small goals, to shoot like at the wall with hoods. So just be creative as coaches and try to use different targets in your training and different equipments. And of course, it's nice if you have like the proper perfect equipment and training tools. But I think you can also with easy with a creative coach, you can also use, or you can also offer different targets with easy yeah, with just anything you find. Okay, so next principle. Perhaps if it's too small, I just read it out. For fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb the tree. There you see the participants, an elephant, a fish, a dog, and so on. It's not a cookie cutter. That sounds funny, but I don't understand what it means. Okay, you're all right. So you have to keep in mind that kids are different and that the development of skills is very different. So kids come to training and not all have the same abilities, and that's very important for the coach just to have in mind, because some has a strength on this side, another kid might have a strength in another field. So that's very important to keep in mind, and also for a training, and it has something to do with the next. Take this one first. It has a lot to do with this principle. It's also like a saying, and it says, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. So what do you think about that? Being innovative is a good point, but that's not quite what we mean.
There's something on it that I use quite often also.
Mm-hmm.
If you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done.
Yeah, that goes quite in the same direction. And for us, it's very important in training to find challenging tasks. And thinking back of the animals who had to try the tree, had to climb the tree, I don't think this task was challenging for all of them. Because if it's too easy, for example, for the monkey, for him, it's too easy to climb the task. So he will not grow, he will not get better because too easy. On the other side, if you tell him, for example, the fish to climb the task, he will not have a chance at all to climb that tree. And in the end, he will also not, or he will neither have the possibility to grow. So same in training with children and youth. So you have to try to find tasks who are challenging for each and every kid in your group. And last of all, I don't want to skip that one. We have to try to use the time of our training as good as possible. And if kids are just sitting around, standing around during our training, it's not a good training, because they want to move, they have to move to learn, to develop. And so that's why it's very important to have a lot of time moving for the kids during training and not a lot of time standing or sitting around. Okay, so here short summary of the principles, and that leads us to our elements of training. In training with the kids, we try to play a lot of small games, and the small games are not always football specific. They can be like coordinative, they can concentrate on technical skills, but also, for example, on strengthening. The next thing, which is very important for us when training with children, with youth, is drills and exercise for the football specific technical skills. You don't only have to do it via drills, you can also use games, but the basic football technical skills are very important to develop. We use tech games quite often to train speed, because speed is a very important ability for football players. We do a lot of 1v1 games with the kids. We do power play, so numbers up play and game shifting exercises. We do ball schooling, remember the varied movement skills. And of course, perhaps the most important content of our training is playing football freely, because that's why kids come to football training. And now, as last step of our presentation, I would like to give you some insights in our training sessions from this morning and a training example. And again, if we just want to introduce you to the training session first. So this morning, those were the parameters of the training. Age category under 13. We had a full pitch available for our training. We've had 13 players and 2 goalkeepers. So those were the circumstances. And me as a coach, I had 2 topics which I wanted to train with them. First of all is the 1v1. Here in Hoffenheim, perhaps I can show you quickly in the book if I find. We have divided the 1v1 into several situations. I'll have it in a second. So we have situation where, I don't know if you can see, situation where players coming from front. We also have the situation, which you can see here, player coming from the side. Another situation, player in the back, and we also have the situation if you're running side by side. So today my goal for the training was to work on the 1v1 situation when you face the defender up front. Another goal I had was from the topic of combination play, working on orientation and working on numbers up situation like 2v1 or 3v2. So those were the goals of the training. And now I'll show you what we did. So this is the technical warm-up. On the left hand or on the left side, you see a technical warm-up for the 1v1 facing the defender. 2 kids have a ball, they dribble towards a dummy, they do a trick and go to the left side, then they give the ball to the next one and go to the back of the queue. That's the warm-up for the 1v1. Then we also had one warm-up for the combination play. Again, we have the queue, we have the first player with the ball, and we have 2 in the center. The one in the center comes in an open position, gets the ball and plays to the other side. Same here on the other side, you get the ball, you play it. Afterwards, if you've been here, you run to the middle. If you've been in the middle, you run to the back of the queue. Okay, so now I played a little trick on you. That's not our actual exercise. That's not what we did, because I don't think those exercises meet the principles I've taught you earlier on. For example, you see a lot of players standing around. Only 2 of the 13 players have a ball. So I don't think those exercises meet our principles perfectly, but perhaps you can help me to find a better warm-up So do you have any ideas to improve? Please use the chat. Yeah, very good ideas. So smaller groups, more balls. First of all, the most important things. Again, now talking about the training sessions, there's no wrong and right, but we just want to collect some ideas. Now I'll show you what I did as a warm-up. The basic idea of my warm-up was to do a combination of both. So in the warm-up, I tried to have the tricks for 1v1 facing the defender included. I also wanted to have included the orientation, because if you see this exercise here on the left-hand side, on the right side, you see me, that's me. That's the coach who says, check your shoulders. Okay, so I want them to learn that if they're standing, if they're receiving the ball, they check their shoulders and look for open spaces. In this drill, there's no point in doing that. They do it perhaps because the coach tells them, but they don't benefit from it because there's always an open space behind them. And so I tried to find an exercise where they had to check their shoulders for being able to fulfill the tasks. So let's see what we did.
Arne auch schon gesagt.
1 second. Okay, so you can look at the blue team to understand how it works. Wait, I go back for a second. Wait. So now we look at the blue team to understand how it works. So the blue team here is a group of 5 players. You have one here with the ball. The first task is to run towards the dummy and do a trick. So dummy in front of you, you do a trick into the middle. Then you have a supporting player in the center. You give him the ball. We'll see that. So he starts here with the trick, gives them the ball. He has the task to check his shoulders if there's an open space behind him. So to do orientation, and then has the task to play to the other side. Very important for this exercise, you always follow your ball. So you see here the player who was in up front now goes to the center. The player who's now in the center will now go down. So let's see how it works. Next player, trick, pass, orientation, next pass, trick, orientation, open space, pass. You can also watch the other teams. And see how it works. Oh, we had an accident here. Okay, so basic idea. We started with some technical skills. So we need the tricks, we need the passing, we need the first touch, and we added to the technical skills some decision making and orientation, perception. So we have to see where are open spaces, you have to check your shoulders so that the exercise works. After some minutes, it worked quite well and became a little bit too easy for the group. So we made it a little more difficult. What we did, we added the orange player. Orange player is defending now. The defender is only allowed to attack passes. So he's not allowed to attack a player who's got the ball on his feet, but he's allowed to attack passes. And meeting another principle we've worked on earlier, competition. We did a small competition because competition is always fun for the kids. So he had 1 minute time to intercept as many passes as possible. Afterwards, he gave his bib to another player, and the next player also had 1 minute. So we've had a little competition here. You see, he's always checking for passes. There he's got the ball. Okay, and of course we see here some mistakes of the player, but that's exactly how I wanted as a coach. Of course, I could sit here and tell you, here I'm the perfect coach, look at my kids, they don't make any mistakes, but that doesn't make them better. Again, meeting the principles, we want challenging tasks. So if they wouldn't make mistakes, it would be a challenging task. It would be too early for them. So seeing them make a mistake is a good sign for me as a coach, because it shows me that it's difficult for them. At the same time, if they were only making mistakes and didn't manage to play a pass from one side to another once or twice, it would be too hard. But I think here we can see some actions are working out well. Sometimes they go to the other side without any accidents. Sometimes the defender gets the ball. For example, you see here, if you look at Team Blue, so here we've got the player on the ball, we've got him in a good position, standing laterally, standing open, but we have the defender moving in his way. So very good that he adjusts his position, moving from here to here, and also very good his touch in the opposite direction. And now he can play to the other side. Okay, so in the next part of the training, we want to do an exercises for 1v1 with an opponent. We want to do the combination play with orientation, with 2v1, 3v1 situations. And so here we've set up like the 1v1 situation facing the defender, and like a normal 3v2 situation. Now again, ideas to improve. What don't you like about the setup? Or would you say this is a perfect setup for training those situations?
You guys put your answers in the chat. Put your answers in the chat.
Thank you, Dion. Yeah, and thank you for the answers. Too many players standing, I agree. We see here 5 players standing, 5 players standing. In the next exercise, 4 players standing. Too many players standing. We also have goalkeepers standing on both sides. More goals, okay. Okay, so what you also have to know about my team. We as under 13 team, we have quite a high level of ability of the players, because like we are a professional club, the players come from quite a great region. We only have very talented players here at our academy. So they don't start this new. So they already know how to play 1v1. They already have experience in playing in a 3 versus 2 situation. That's why I again want to make the task challenging, and so make it a little bit more difficult for them. And again, too much standing around. You're totally right. And that's why I again tried to do a combination of both. The combination of the 1v1, the orientation, and the numbers up play. So let's see what we did in training. Okay, so that's the setup. I'll explain to you first how it works, and then I will just let it run so we can see. So setup is like this. We have 2 teams, blue team, yellow team. We have 3 players starting inside of the pitch. Of course, we've added another goal because we have 2 goalkeepers. We don't want one keeper to stand around. We want to use them both. And if you see the exercise before, if you win the ball, you don't have a task. Here, if you win the ball, you can go to the other goal. Okay, so it works like this. First player passing the ball, yellow player to the blue player. Okay, now the yellow player who passed the ball has to run around a marker. You can't see it here, it's under his foot, around the marker. And then he's allowed to support his yellow player. While he's running, the blue player is allowed to start the 1v1 against this yellow player and trying to score a goal. So remembering, the players already know about 1v1 facing the opponent. So we try to give him some pressure, some time pressure. And that's why the other players chasing after him. And now you see, he has to be quick. If he would be slowly, the 1v1 would turn into 1v2. So he has to be quick to score a goal. Okay, now, as I told you, we want to combine 1v1 with 3 versus 2. So first one, the 1v1 is over. Now we have another blue player joining our blue player. So we have 1-2, 1-2 playing against each other. And we have another yellow player joining in. So now yellow is playing 3 versus 2 against the blue team. We just let go so you can see. Now they play 3 versus 2. Okay, now it's over. Next kids come in. 1v1. So one more thing I want to show you. There's one special rule for the 3 versus 2, because this player is not allowed to dribble in. He has to play a pass to one of the yellow players. Do you have any ideas why I came up with that rule? And remember, my training goals were 1v1 facing defender, orientation, and the numbers up play, so 3v2. So why don't I let him dribble in? Why does he have to pass the ball? What do you think? Quick transition, okay, but I think we would also have a quick transition if you were allowed to dribble in. Dwayne Davis, perfect. You found the right answer. It's about orientation. Remember one of the goals, and remember what we did in the warm-up it was about getting a ball, checking your shoulders, and seeing where's open space. And now we have those two yellow players, and they are now getting a ball, have to check their shoulders and take a decision. It was perfect in this situation. So observe this player, observe him, what he does. He's moving, checking his shoulder and taking a decision. And decision was very good. Opponent behind him, so he couldn't turn. He had to make a touch to the back and play a pass. And now we can play. And now let's see if perhaps there's a situation where they're checking their shoulders and they take another decision.
Aber wenn das mit dem Erkennen doch geklappt hat, alle richtig.
Okay, that was a good example. Let's see. It's not enough. Okay, so quite similar situation, but not quite the same. Again, he's moving into the open space, but see this defender. He's more far away than before. Checking his shoulders and turning because he's able to. If we have the ball here in an open position, it's better than we have it here far away from the goal. So here we have a good decision that he's turning, and now we continue the playing. Okay, a little bit lucky, but at the end we shoot at the goal and we did a good play. Turn and play. Okay, so we don't only want to do exercises, we also want to play games. So here we just have a normal game and the coaching, be confident in 1v1 situations, check your shoulders and take advantage of numbers up situations. Of course, of the time, I would make it a little quicker without the chat and just tell you what I think about this exercise. I think it's not ideal to keep on training our goals facing the defender 1v1 and combination play, because just by telling them be confident in 1v1 situations, perhaps they will do, perhaps they will not. I can also train it in a game. So, and now I want to try how I want to show you how I tried to include my training goals inside a game. Okay, now you see how it works. We have a pitch and we have two teams. 1, 2, 3, 4 blue players in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow players in the center. 2 supporting players blue on this side and on this side, and 2 supporting players yellow on this side and on this side. The goal was to play without scoring goals first, but only collecting passes. So the goal was to collect 6 passes. After they collected 6 passes, for example, now Team Blue is playing, they were allowed to attack the yellow goats. And they were only allowed to attack them in a 1v1 or 2v1 situation. Okay, so we see here, Blue is playing, collecting passes. Now yellow gets the ball, yellow play. Okay, yellow lost the ball. Blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pass, and now they can attack the yellow goal. 1v1 goal. And extra rule, 1v1 goal counts 3 points, 2v1 goal counts 1 point. And another extra rule, if you enter this zone to attack the goal, the other yellow players in the center are not anymore allowed to defend. So here you see he enters alone, 1v1, the others are not allowed to help the yellow player. Okay, well done from the blue team. Now let's see how yellow's doing. 1, 2, oh, bad ball, lost the ball. and blues playing. 1, 2. Change the sides, not bad, but lost the ball. Just let it run slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now they're allowed to go on the goals. Could have gone there already. Now he's taking there. 2v1. Well done. Trained that numbers up situation before, and we've got a goal. Okay, that's quite about it of my training session. But in the end, I want to remember what I told you in the beginning. Always keep in mind how are kids and what do they want. And that's very important for us. We always end our sessions with a simple game of football. So just wanted to tell you, even when we say we can bring across our coaching points in games, also possible, but we always want to let them play just a simple game, just a free game at the end of our sessions. So I don't have this on camera, but in the end, of course, of the session, we played like 20 minutes a match. Okay, and now we are finished with our presentation. First of all, thank you for your attendance. Thank you all for being so active in the chat. We hope you liked it. And now, if there are any questions left, we are here to answer them.
Arne, if you can, you talk about early specialization. If you could just stress to the coaches why it is you believe that you need to start the players at U12 and not earlier, and because some of the coaches obviously would have heard different philosophies, but why it is in your belief at Hoffenheim that the players should start again at U12. Can you stress, please?
Okay. Well, you have to know, just not to get us wrong in this point. We don't say that kids should start playing football at 11 and they should not start before. That's not our point of view. But we think for us as a professional club, it doesn't make sense to get all the talents here at our club in the early stages. In the early stages, we just want them to play close to where they live. We want them to play with their friends, with their school friends, just in local clubs. And this is the one thing. And we think we can help them with the development with our perspective team, training them once a week, but keep them in their local clubs so they don't have to sit in the car too many hours and they just stay playing with their friends. The other thing is that indeed we think they should start playing football early, but they should not specialize too early. So the perfect way would be starting playing football at the age of 4, 5, or 6, but at the same time playing basketball, playing tag games with friends, going for a swim, going for a climb. So just get a varied movement base. So if they have a varied movement base, they can learn better when they're older. And when they get to the age of 11 and they are very talented, they can enter in our academy. And then, of course, the focus is on football training. I hope I've answered your question.
No, thank you. And one of the coaches put in the chat with regards to, they noticed that you did not stop the practice much to make corrections. So they noticed, so I don't know if it was a statement or question, but they've observed that you don't really stop the practice too often to make corrections.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting question because we've seen, I think, not longer than a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. And you say, I didn't stop often. How many times should I stop in 2 minutes? For us, from our point of view, it's very important to make or to develop players who can take their own decisions. And if I as coach don't let them take decisions, they will not learn it. If I always tell them what to do, they maybe perhaps can do it if I tell them, but they won't do it for themselves. So we try the video was without sound. So we tried to coach. Of course, we're coaching during the session, and we try to make some breaks and coach there. But for us, it's very important that they get time to try to take their own decisions, to try to make the experiences. So if I do a training, did all of those exercises you saw. They ran for about 20-25 minutes during the training, and then maybe I stopped for coaching not more than 5 times. And then they had enough time to take their own decisions. And you also have to keep in mind, we're talking about 12-year-old kids. And if you overload them with information, they won't take a lot from the session. So I think it's better to give them 4 or 5 important key messages than to overload them.
Okay, Arne, because of time, what I'm going to ask the coaches to do is to put their questions in the chat. And also I want everybody to use the chat to see if you can tell me or tell Arne and Max what are 1 or 2 things or maybe 3 things you're going to definitely take away from their presentation. So you guys use the chat, put it in, and also put your questions. So we're going to give you 2 minutes to use the chat. What did you get from their presentation? You can also put your questions in. And what did you get? I'm sure you guys got some things out of this session. Please put it in the chat. Who's going to be first, second, third, fourth? We have 80 guys on. What did you get? Please put it in the chat.
Okay, I'll start to answer, or I try to answer some questions simultaneously. One was about the duration of an exercise, of a session. We do our sessions about 2 hours, maybe 1.5, but normal sessions 1.5 to 2 hours. Specialization of goalkeepers. We start training goalkeepers at a quite young age, so 7 or 8, but we don't want them to only be goalkeepers. So goalkeepers at our club, they also play in the field until they're like 13 or 14. Of course, they do goalkeepers coaching, but they also do the players coaching.
Okay. All right. So guys, because of the time, you can put your questions in the chat, and I will email it to Arne, and he will send me the answers. All right. I'll email it to Max and Arne. They'll send me the answers. Because of the time, we have you guys. I didn't see anybody put in the chat. What do you want to say? What did you get from the session? Can you put in the chat, please? What did you get from the session?
One quick answer from my side: we include light weights boards until under 12. So we start with normal boards in the age of 13, more or less. There was one question I've read, if there's a possibility of further exchange. I can write you my email address in the chat. So if you have any questions left, you can send me.
Okay, good. So you can also send Arne the questions as well. So Arne, thank you for putting your email in there. And I would get the presentation off to the guys. Brilliant session. Can I ask Mrs. Knott to say a few words, please? Mrs. Knott, can you say a few words, please?
Yes, just very quickly, Arne and Max, thank you again very much for that. What I found was very interesting was the beginning of the presentation and how important it was to talk about the history of the club, because we often have teams and we don't have clubs, and then that means there's not sustainability. It's very important for us to look at the structure of what we're doing, and it would be nice to see that people have more club structures than team structures, because we see it going all the way through other sports. If you don't have a good club structure, it then means there's not sustainability. You have 1 or 2 coaches with passion, it lasts for 5 or 6 years, and then it disappears. So it was really great. and to see not only that the football, but all the other aspects of it that are going with the club. And so I'm really happy that we got that. And of course, the other thing is the basic movement, that children need to learn basic movement. And I hope that everybody got that message. Football, yes, but basic movement, the jumping, the climbing, and all that goes with it. Fantastic session once again. Well done, Dion. You've found the right people for everybody in. Well done.
Thank you, Annette.
Thank you very much. And Max and Arne, any final words for us, please?
Max, final words for you.
So spontaneously, it was really a great session, and I love the activity in the chat and all the commitment from you to the football and to coaching. I think that all of you are coaching in any way, if it's football, if it's other sports. And what we wanted to give as a key message is be excited as a coach and let the kids play, and always have fun at playing and coaching football. That's the most important thing. And yeah, thank you for the time, and that you are here with us on a Saturday evening or Saturday midday. So thank you all, and thank you for the activity and the exchange. Really, it was a real pleasure to be here. Thank you.
I can just underline what Max just said, and would like to add one more thing. We really love the Caribbean culture, love Trinidad and Tobago culture. As far as we know it, we don't know a lot about it. We would be very happy to visit you one day. And Dion, I'll give you a call if we do so. And during the last days presenting during the last days preparing this session with you, our number one hit we listened to was Maximus Stan Fighter. Soccer Warriors, we love it.
I am a soccer warrior.
Yeah, man.
So happy on behalf of the FIFA, TTFA Normalization Committee and the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association and staff, the TTOC, the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, the Ministry of Sport. We'd like to thank you very much for taking the time of your schedule, coming from a session during the day and then joining us here at night for you to give your very wise words. Most certainly, we will take you up on that offer with coming to Trinidad and Tobago, right? We will definitely have a visit, and as Peter said in the chat, if we can do an exchange program, because that also helps us as coaches learn. So we are very happy to do so. Let us all remember Erickson in our press. He had a heart attack during that game earlier today, and that game had to be stopped. So let us remember him also in our press, that he recovers and get back to his team as soon as possible. So again, thank you very much. Very informative. You guys, you're still twins in my books, so it's really happy to have you guys. Thank you very much. And you guys, please, next week we'll be on. We may change the time. Those of you who have players, tomorrow Andrew Lewis, our Olympic sailor, will be doing a motivational talk from 2 to 3:30. Get your players on. These motivational talks are going very good, and this is for the kids, so they interact with kids from different parts of the world as well. We had some American kids on last week, and this was really good. So that's tomorrow from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Please get your kids on, your players on. Thank you to everybody. On behalf of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association, please stay safe. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you and bye.
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 Have a good one. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Damien, thank you well.
Yeah, Damien was the translator.
Yeah. You did great job.
He did a great job. Thank you very much, everybody, and participants. Thank you very much. People are crying. They don't want to leave.
Dion.
All right, so guys, we're gonna have to finish now. If you have to get on, just message me via email,
Dion.
please. Yeah, Damon, we have to go. We really have to go. So message me, please.